It's 10 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and get started today. Good morning. My name is Thomas Earhart. I'm the hearing officer for the cases set today, August the 7th, 2018. I'm employed by the law firm of Lennox, Sobeck, and Bueller, which was formerly Reed and Earhart. So if any of you that are subject to hearing today have been represented by them, you should let me know. As the hearing officer, when your case comes up, you should come up to the podium in front where you'll be given a chance to present your case, including any testimony you wish to make, and present any documents, photographs, or other physical evidence that is relevant to the issues before me. I will then have the building commissioner give me a summary of the matters contained in his filing, after which I will give you an opportunity to respond and cross-examine. As hearing officer, I also reserve the right to ask you questions or request additional information. In conducting these hearings today, I'm taking administrative notice of Indiana Code 36-7-9, which is the state statute on substandard housing, and separate ordinances of the City of Warsaw with respect to the building code, environmental, zoning, or other appropriate chapters of the municipal code. With regards to any decisions I may make, you should be advised that I have discretion on the actions that I take, from giving you additional time to do things, to fining up to $5,000, and ordering action to be taken against your property, such as appointing a receiver to take possession of your property or demolition if necessary. You should also be advised that any final decision that is made may be appealed, and if appealed, that appeal would go to the Kosciuszko Circuit Court, and you would need to file that appeal within 10 days of the date I make that decision. Finally, when making your presentation, you should speak up and speak clearly so that I can understand you, and because these proceedings are being recorded. We have several cases today, and so at this time, all those who intend to testify or present evidence needs to please stand and be sworn in, as your testimony will be under oath. Do you and each of you swear or affirm under the penalties for perjury that your testimony that you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So say you all?
I do.
Okay, you may be seated. The first case today is the Wade case for the property at 1015 East Main Street. It is Jason and Bobby Wade, present here today. Okay, and you are, ma'am, who are you? Bobby. How about Jason? Jason, okay. I know from my notes that I took the last time we were here that there was some cleanup that needed to be done around your property. We continued this case from the June 26th hearing to today in order to give you a chance to clean up. I need a report then from the building commissioner. What's the status of the property today?
Well, the inspection that was made, actually this morning, there were some pictures taken in yesterday's, shows a lot of trash and debris still on the property.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was, I don't know if it was a little bit cleaned up maybe the last hearing, but it seems like it's accumulated some more, or it just hasn't been finished. And I don't know if Dana has any more information on that. But there's still trash and debris on the property.
Okay. Want to identify yourself?
Yeah, Dana Hewitt, the Code Enforcement Inspector for the City of Warsaw. June 26th, we had a hearing in which it was noted that the property appeared to have been cleaned up. I had taken photos the day before, and showed a lot of items still scattered throughout the property. So I went by after the hearing, took a photograph of a trailer that appeared to have a lot of items on it that had some tarps, but it looked a lot better. Since then, I've received complaints, calls, that the property, after June 26, had gone back to being cluttered. So approximately each week since the hearing, I've taken photographs of the property showing that on a code hearing day, it may appear cleaned up, but on every other day, there's a large amount of debris, clutter, junk, and items throughout the property. There's a good photo, July 12th, in the folder that kind of represents on one day.
Okay, and the photo of July 12th, did you take that photo?
I did.
And did that photo accurately represent the property on that date as you saw it?
It did.
I noticed there's also some photos that have been submitted on July the 17th.
Yes,
And did you take those as well?
I did.
And did those accurately represent the property as it was on July the 17th?
It did.
Do either of you or Ray have any other photos that are more current than that?
Took photos yesterday and today. August 6th and today, August 7th.
And who took these photos?
I did.
And did these photos accurately represent the property as you saw it today and yesterday?
It did.
Okay, well, we'll admit as evidence the photos from July 12th, July the 17th, August the 6th, and August the 7th, then, as part of the evidence in this particular case. Just as a point of inquiry, the photos that were taken yesterday and today show the property in a better condition than it was back when the photos in May were taken of this year.
That the property looks better.
Looks like it's more cleaned up than it was in May of this year.
Well, yeah, he was out there cleaning it this morning, so.
Okay. Any other witnesses with respect to this property? Mr. Wade, you want to come up here to the podium? Why don't you tell me what your version is of what's going on with the property?
I'm cleaning up the property. It takes time. Some stuff from the inside has to come out.
You're going to have to speak. I can't hear you.
Some of the stuff on the inside had to come out, and unfortunately, it went beside the trailer or whatever. That trailer, I tried to haul everything out of there at one time. I broke the axle. I said this last time. I changed the axle, and I just bought two tires for it. Other than it not being mowed this week because my mower broke, I think it's a lot better condition than when it was.
There was some reference in Mr. Hewitt's presentation that the property seems to be cleaned up and then more junk and more stuff accumulates there and they begin to get telephone calls on that. How do you explain that?
The city don't pick up trash. They don't pick it up like they used to. I can't just set it all out near the curb at one time and they come pick it up. They pick up one thing and a trash can. The trash can, they don't hold. So I've been getting rid of it a little bit at a time. I can't afford a dumpster, so I just...
Are you employed, Mr. Wade?
Yes,
Where do you work?
for myself.
I'm sorry.
For myself,
What do you do? What's your job?
I do construction. I work on cars. I do a lot of things.
Well, what do you do with all the junk that accumulates on your property?
what? Like what? Like
Well,
all the,
What do you do with the stuff that accumulates on your property that I've got pictures of and that I am told accumulates there, enough that the neighbors seem to call and complain about it? What do you do with that stuff? You take it to the junkyard? Do you sell it? What happens to it?
the stuff on the trailer is all gonna go in the garage sale. Other than that, I guess I sell it at garage sales. I mean,
Okay, when do you plan on holding a garage sale to get rid of it?
I was gonna do it this weekend, but it's planning on raining.
Well, are the representations correct, though? Between the time of the last hearing and today's hearing, that new material has been brought back, or old material has been brought back to the property that had been removed before?
No, I mean, nothing has been just brought back to my property. I mean, I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. I had 2 trailers of trash, and they're gone. And
Well, where'd they go?
I took it to the dump. It's a lot cheaper to take it to the dump than it is to get a dumpster.
I mean, is part of your job doing scrapping?
Huh?
You pick this stuff up and then scrap it out, take it to the junkyard?
Yeah, but I was informed that I wasn't allowed to scrap on my property.
Oh.
So now I take it to a friend's house and scrap, or take it here to scrap, or there to scrap. I mean, I got some friends that live in the country, and
So do they buy that stuff from you, or
No.
or do they just store it for you?
no, I just go cut it up and put it on, keep it on the freaking trailer. The next day I take it in and scrap it. So. I was out this morning, I was trying to mow the grass is what I was trying to do. But the storm, it blew my trash everywhere last night. I picked it up, and that's what I was doing this morning.
Okay, well, you've had since June to get rid of all that stuff, and you still have stuff there. I understand some of the limitations that you've talked about on why it hasn't all been removed, but it's got to go, and it's got to stay away.
So I'm not allowed to have anything on a trailer on my property.
Well, you said you were going to go ahead and have a garage sale, didn't you?
So,
Isn't that your solution to that problem?
yes.
Okay.
So if I have scrap on a trailer, I'm not even allowed to park it at my house, is what I'm asking.
Not if it's causing people to call and complain about junk and trash being kept around the property. You got to be considerate to your neighbors as well.
And that's why I applied for a fence permit.
To a what?
To a fence permit.
Okay,
And-
was that granted?
And it was granted, and I can go pick it up. I plan on picking it up today.
Well, I mean,
The-
that's up to you. We've got to come up with a solution to the problem, and you've had
That was
a
the
month and a half to do it already.
That is a solution to the problem, which I was denied the solution to the problem when he told everybody here last time that it was sitting upstairs waiting on me. Zoe upstairs didn't even know what I was talking about. And I got an email, well, my wife did, that denied us a fence permit. I mean, and she said that she don't know how he did that because he don't deal with the fence permits. And if I had a fence permit over a month ago, over that, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I'm a little bit busier now, But back then, I wasn't as busy. I could have put a fence up faster. And that was the solution. And then he said it was a pallet fence. But the pallet fence, like I told him, the pallet fence didn't even look like pallets on the outside. And it was only there for temporary use until the fence was granted. And it was a temporary fence. I went by all the codes. Nothing was in the ground and nothing was attached to the house. But then he came by, and then I caught him in my garage, looking inside my garage, which, I don't know. I mean, that's like a little over the line. I mean, you don't have to walk in my garage, and you don't have to, yeah. I don't know. He must have a problem with me. I mean, that's where I stand with this. And
Okay, well, I don't, your relationship with them is important, but today you and I are talking about this. All right, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to give you 2 weeks to get that property cleaned up, spick and span. In 2 weeks, these gentlemen are going to go out and take a look at the property. And if they tell me it's spick and span and there's nothing wrong with it, great. But if they don't, then you're going to get fined $100 a day for every day that goes by that property is a mess until they tell me that it's cleaned up. You understand that? You've had a month and a half already. I'm going to give you 2 more weeks. But if you haven't got it done in 2 weeks from today, then that's where we're going to go next.
okay.
Okay? Any
Yeah.
questions about that? Anything you don't understand about that?
No.
Okay. Anything else you want to say? Anything else that you want to say?
No, that's it for right now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Go ahead and have a seat. Mrs. Wade, do you have anything that you want to add to this? Okay, do you understand what we've done here today? Okay. Yes. Dana?
Some accusations were levied against myself on how I do my job. I'd like to respond to that.
Okay.
Okay. Not once have I ever gone into his garage. In fact, photographs actually will show that it's so full that no one can get in there. It's halfway open. Photographs were taken from the outside. So at no time did I ever enter the garage. Second, I did not deny any fence permit. The fence permit was done by an administrative assistant. She had it ready on July 5th, which we have here. There's a phone number that was attached to that application that has a handwritten note from our administrative assistant that said the phone is disconnected. She tried to call that phone number to let them know to come pick it up. So when Mr. Wade went up on the 26th and confronted the administrative assistant, she really didn't know who Mr. Wade was. She deals with a lot of permits and may not have given the most accurate information on what's going on with this, the permit. So I don't do anything with permits. I don't deny permits. The emails that I have are between Bobby Wade, the wife, and Zany Powell, the administrative assistant. At no time did I email. So I received an email and I forwarded it to her because she does the fence permits. So.
Okay. So,
And as far as my relationship with Mr. Wade is, I have a job to do. I do city ordinances. I get complaints and I try to gain compliance. When there's no compliance and there's still violation, this is why we're here. So I have nothing against Mr. Wade. He has taken this personal because there are continued violations that I keep addressing. So that agitates him. So.
okay. I understand that, but answer me this question. Sure. Today, is that permit available to Mr. Wade today?
It's right there in the folder,
Okay?
as it has been since July 5th.
Okay. So Mr. Wade can leave here, go upstairs, or wherever he needs to go to pick up that permit today.
That is my understanding. If he pays the fee for the fence permit and is given information on the correct way to place it in there and inspections are done, yeah.
Okay. All right. Do you hear that, Mr. Wade? Okay. You folks are free to go if you want to leave. The next item with the on the docket for today is The 1712 Willow Lane property, Mr. and Mrs. Devlin.
Excuse myself, go over to report. Yeah.
Is anybody here for that hearing? Okay, well, let the record show that nobody appeared, the owners did not appear.
I do have information on that.
Okay. That James and Ellen Devlin did not appear for the hearing today, that they were cited to attend. But I'll hear evidence from the building commissioner.
The issue was the shed being, being in the setback. He has moved the shed, it is in compliance now. So that has been resolved. And that was as of yesterday.
Okay. So is that a case then we can dismiss at this point?
Yes, yes, sir. We
All
can
right.
discuss that.
Next item on our list today is the property at 721 North Cook Street. Patricia Smith, is Ms. Smith there? Ms. Smith, you want to come up to the podium, please? All right, you want to give me a rundown on,
Yes, Dana reported back to me, showed me some pictures, we talked about this property. He's estimating that she has been working on it. It's about 40% cleaned up, and that she is making progress.
okay?
Yeah, I talked to
You
him.
believe-
I talked, sorry,
You agree
I
with
talked
that?
to him, yes. I talked to him this morning, and he gave me some information to talk to the city about what they will come and pick up.
Okay, well, do you think you can have it cleaned up and everything completed by September the 18th?
Yes, my sister's here from Oregon, she's helping me. I was gone for a couple weeks, and I'd asked somebody if they would go down and take care of it, and they did not. And so it's like I came back from family business to a bigger mess. So we're working on it,
Okay,
and I'm pretty sure I'll have it.
all right, well, that's the kind of report I like to hear. We're going to continue your case then to the next hearing, which is September the 18th.
Okay.
I'm sure someone from the city will be out to check to see what your progress is. If you get it cleaned up before September the 18th and they approve it, there will be no need for you to appear on September the 18th. However, if you don't, and they don't tell me that it's cleaned up, then you do need to be here on September the 18th.
Okay.
Any questions about that?
No,
Anything you don't understand about that?
I understand everything.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the next item set for this morning is the property located at 2119 Hendrick Street, Odessa Williams. Is Mr. Williams here? Mr. Williams, you want to come on up to the podium, please? Okay, all right, you want to go ahead and give me a rundown on that property?
Yeah, Mr. Williams is making progress on the property. Every time Dana's been out there, he's usually out there in the yard, working on it, getting rid of some of it, staging it into what it is, to haul it off. But he is making progress, slow progress, but he's making progress, and we appreciate that.
Okay. Mr. Williams, do you think you can have your job done by September the 18th as well?
If all goes well, I have some medical problems, and one reason I'm a little bit slower is I wound up going back to the hospital, so I lost probably a week or so on that.
Okay.
But if they changed my medication, things seem to be working well. If I can stay up and trying to line up some help, which shows up and then don't show up, so.
Okay, well, that gives you 6 weeks.
Yes, we will continue working on it.
All right,
and
well, I'm going to tell you the same thing I told Ms. Smith when she was up here. If you get it all taken care of, approved by the city,
Yes.
then you don't need to show up on the 18th. Otherwise, if it's not, and they tell me that you haven't gotten it all cleaned up, then I'm going to expect you back here on September the 18th.
We will try our best to have everything done by
Okay, well,
September
it seems to be
18th.
that you're headed in the right direction, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
The next item with the tape is, next item for today is the property at 620 North Union Street, Stephen Davis property. Can you give me an update on that, please?
Yes, that property has been sold to a builder who has pulled a permit, has gutted the house, has cleaned up on the outside, and his plan is to renovate it and resell it. So he's in that process right now.
Okay, is that a case that can be dismissed as well?
Yes.
All right, then we'll show that case being dismissed. The next property is the property at 519 North Park Avenue. It's the Durham property. Anybody here on the Durham property? Great, want to bring me up to date on that?
Yeah, he is moving forward. Has two different contractors working out there. One is the concrete guy. He's just finished the porch. He wrapped the south side. He's moved around the front, got that completed. The other contractor is inside doing, putting in new structure, new beams in the basement, headers upstairs, working on the roof in the attic area. So he is making good progress.
Is this a case that can be dismissed as well?
I'd like to carry it one more hearing,
Okay,
and then I think if it moves the way it is, we'll be able to dismiss it.
okay. We'll show that hearing continue to September the 18th as well. And would you notify the owner about the continuance of that?
Yes.
The next property is the property located at 3521 Lake City Highway. Owner is Harry Ohm, Inc. Mr. Ohm here? Okay, Mr. Ohm's not here. Want to give me an update on that property then?
Yeah, that appears like it's in its final stages. They have to finish, they have to paint now, they've primed everything. On railings, they have to paint that, they've sandblasted the block on the ends, and they're gonna paint that. I expect that to be done actually to the next hearing date. So if we continue one more time, again, we should be able to dismiss it at that time.
Okay, let's show that continued to September the 18th as well, and I'm sure you'll notify the owners
Yes.
about that. Next property is the property at 1627 Fisher Avenue, the Brad Eberly property. Is Mr. Eberly here? Okay, Mr. Eberly's not here.
Actually, Dana dismissed himself this morning. He is to appear in Superior Court this morning. So Dana's there with our city attorney on that case.
Would that be where Mr. Eberly is as well?
Yes, should be.
And why is Mr. Eberly in court today?
Mr. Eberly is in court because of the property on Fisher Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
that he's the property owner, and it has been full of trash brought there and just continues to build up. And he is unresponsive. He said he is not going to clean it up, he's not going to remove it. So it was taken to Superior Court.
Okay. So let's continue that to September the 18th as well, and maybe we'll have an outcome with what that court proceeding is.
Okay.
And see that Mr. Eberly gets notice of that.
Okay.
Next property is a property located at 2516 East Center Street, the Dash Mesh property. Is anybody here for Dash Mesh? All right, what's been the progress on that property?
We had a little bit of movement. The sign that we asked be removed that was blowing apart has been taken down and is removed off the property. And they did pull a demolition permit, however, they have not started the demolition process yet. And we have talked to them about that and as well as the overgrowth around those buildings. So that we need to continue as well.
Other than removing the sign, are they doing, it sounds like they're not doing anything to maintain the property if there's weeds and
Yeah,
grass
they
and
are
stuff.
not.
All right, well, do you think that they're aware that that's an ongoing responsibility?
Yes, we have talked to them about that.
And has that fallen on deaf ears apparently?
Yes. He says he's going to, they're going to send people in there, but they have not.
How long have they been telling you that?
Several months.
Okay. All right, well, let's continue that to September the 18th as well. I really would like to see the weeds and the grass and some of that cleaned up at a minimum by September the 18th. Because if it's not, then we may have to give that some further attention.
Okay.
All right, it looks like the last property is the property at 1825 Michael Street, Virginia You don't look like Virginia.
No, that's my mother. She passed away. I'm taking the property over.
All right, sorry to hear that. She passed away recently?
July 5th.
Okay. And your name is?
Richard Walls. I'm the one that resides at the address.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at my notes from the last time you were here. My notes say that you had the property pretty much cleaned up, about 90% cleaned up. There was a vehicle and some mowing and some things that needed to be done yet.
The vehicle's gone. The mowing's all done.
Okay?
Yeah, the report Dana has given me is that it has been resolved.
Okay.
Everything has been done.
So we can dismiss this case as well.
Dismiss this case.
All right, we'll order this case dismissed. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. I'll try and keep it looking good.
Appreciate that.
Have a good day.
All right, there is one more. And that's the Moore case, 1422 East Main Street.
If you felt you didn't need to talk to me, that was fine with me, but
Well, I'm going to have Ray tell me what's happened since you were here the last time, and we'll see how much talking we need to do.
Actually, I'll say nothing has changed, but that's a good thing. The property's been kept trimmed and mowed, so he's been maintaining it up to this point. I don't know where you're at with everything there, but somebody's been taking care of the property. So,
yeah, I've been trying to keep it mowed, keep the weeds under control, that kind of thing. The resolution of the ownership of getting it handed over to the mortgage company, deed in lieu and that kind of thing, is not going as fast as I would like for a number, in part because of distance, in part because that process involves a lot of hoops to jump through, in part because we're getting ourselves established in a new place, but we are continuing to pursue it.
So can you just kind of briefly tell me what the status of all that is? I mean, time frame wise, do you have any idea when this is going to be wrapped up?
I wish I could give you say, I'm reasonably sure it'll be done by this time, but I don't know enough about the process and the paperwork and the steps that we're going to have to go through.
Do you have any idea, though, about, are you in the middle of this process, the beginning, the end? Do you have any idea?
It appears to me as if we're well into it, but if we're even in the middle, I'm sorry, I don't feel I can say. Because I'm just not familiar enough with the whole process and all the steps involved.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's just continue until September the 18th. You can come back and give us a status report then. And try and get as much detail as you can, because I hate to run you back and forth here all the time if I don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay?
And I hope I can say it's all been handed over to them, everything's signed off and taken care of, but we'll see.
All right, well, if it is, let the city know so that we can dismiss your case then.
is the address we have on South Union, is that your current address where you reside?
No, I thought I gave,
That before you leave, just in case I don't have it.
okay, I thought I had updated it, but should I give it to you or go upstairs and give it?
You can give it to me before, yeah.
Okay.
So you don't have to go upstairs.
Okay.
We may have it, but I don't have it filed.
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Now, according to my list, we are finished for the day. Thank you.
He might have it in his file, but I don't. I show the